Good morning from Islas, a group of islands located in Lago Miguel Alemán in Oaxaca, right next to the border with Veracruz. I left Veracruz yesterday and made my way to the nearby town of Tuxtepec. It was an early start from Tuxtepec at about 5:30 a.m. so that we could arrive to the town of Nueva Soyaltepec to have breakfast and start our adventures. I ate a delicious tamal alongside some cheese empanadas and washed it all down with a piping hot cup of café de olla. Welcome to Islas. We are right on the border of Oaxaca and Veracruz in the state of Oaxaca, and we are at this incredible, it's now like a reservoir because it's been dammed. So it used to be a river, but in order to stop flooding in Veracruz, they built a dam and now it's a lake. And there are quite literally thousands of islands here. And we're gonna do a little boat trip around and between them, and then we're gonna land on one of the bigger ones and we're gonna hike. So I'm excited to see, once we get to the top, we'll be able to see just how many islands there are. It's a beautiful sunny day. Gotta put my sunscreen on. I'm so excited. It's so peaceful. It's just our little group here. The water is so slack. There's a couple of boats way out on the other side. It's so beautiful. It's about an hour and a half from Veracruz, so if you rent a car from Veracruz, it's super easy to get here. The road's perfectly paved. There's nowhere to stay here, so you have to be prepared that you want to do a round trip from Veracruz or carry on further into Oaxaca and work your way towards Oaxaca City. We took a boat trip around several of the islands, looking out for different species of migratory birds, as well as taking a peek at how the locals use some of the uninhabited islands for their livestock. Eventually, we made our way to the large island of Soyaltepec, where we docked and started hiking up. The trail is a public way to the top of the island, which has no vehicles, only donkeys, horses, and carts. We passed people's homes and their small farms, stopped to meet a few local artisans who are making beautifully embroidered shirts and dresses, and eventually made it to the top. The top of the hill is where you can find a few small shops to get drinks or snacks, as well as this church. The church has been in this spot since the 16th century, and much of the original structure still remains, including the walls, the bell tower, and the bell, as well as the original archangel on the altar. We climbed up the bell tower to get a closer look at the bell, but safety precautions were at a minimum. You really get an idea of how many islands there are from here. Wow. On the other side of the church was the view. It's here that you really get an understanding for the name Islas, 1,000 islands. When I'm traveling far from home in remote places like this, I always want to make sure that I'm connected in case of any emergencies, which is why I'm so grateful for Saley for sponsoring this video and for how well connected I was able to be throughout this off-the-beaten-path adventure around Oaxaca. Thanks to their eSIM, even on this island in the middle of nowhere, I was able to send Luke a message and let him know how my day was going. That evening, I had plenty of signal to call him before heading to bed, despite not having Wi-Fi available at all. Setting up the eSIM is really easy. All you have to do is download the Saily app onto your phone, choose the region or country that you're going to be traveling to, select a plan based on the amount of data you're going to use or for however many days you think you might need it for, and enter code Laura Bronner at checkout to get 15% off of your purchase. Once you buy the eSIM, Saily will walk you through the entire process of setting it up before you leave for your trip so that you can have cell phone data as soon as you arrive. Download the app today and get 15% off your purchase with code Laura Bronner at checkout. Now let's get back to exploring these hidden gems in Oaxaca. After soaking in the views for as long as we could, we made our way back down the hill to our boat. We headed back to Nuevo Soyaltepec, where a true feast awaited us for lunch. We had mojarra, which was made by steaming it in a banana leaf with tomatoes and onions and jalapenos and garlic and cilantro. While the fish was cooking, we had tortillas rolled up with salt and dipped into salsa macha, and then the main event arrived at the table. Paired with handmade tortillas and washed down with homemade horchata, this was one seriously delicious meal, especially after hiking in the heat on the islands.
It's really hot.
One of my favorite Spanish words is sobremesa. It's hard to translate exactly into English, but it's used to describe those times where you lounge at the table with family and friends over a meal. Your meal is long over, but the mezcal or the beers or the aguas frescas are flowing as freely as the conversation, and before you know it, hours have passed around the table together. That's what happened today. And suddenly, the sun was starting to set. The town was having a party, and we were lucky enough to take part in it, enjoying live dancing and music that's often only seen on special occasions or at the famous Guelaguetza festival in Oaxaca. Mil Islas is stunning, and the people of Nuevo Soyaltepec are kind and generous, and they can't wait to share their story with more people. I will link below to the website where you can read more about visiting Mil Islas so that you can eat this mojarra, meet these wonderful people, and explore the natural beauty of this hidden Oaxaca gem. I'll see you next week as this road trip to Oaxaca continues through the mountains. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.